So, you're considering getting a Nintendo Switch. Maybe it's the portability that speaks to you, or the brilliant exclusive games. In the end, it doesn't really matter why. The main thing is that you want one, or you're pondering the idea of getting one. The thing is, the Switch has been out for almost 8 years now. Its tech was already outdated when it came out, and we know Nintendo's next console is around the corner, so is it still worth getting one today? I'm Felix from Nintendo Life, and I'll be answering all those questions and more, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge in hand to decide if you want to finally take the plunge, or maybe wait till the next console comes out. Without further ado, let's strap our seatbelts and get right into it. So there's of course two ends of the spectrum when we talk about this. All the good stuff and all the bad stuff. And I think we should start off with all the reasons why you should still get a Nintendo Switch. The main thing for me is the games. The Switch is filled to the brim with brilliant games and a lot of exclusives that you can't play anywhere else. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, Mario Odyssey, Metroid Prime Remastered, the list goes on and on and on. It also has great indie support where you can play games like Cuphead, Hollow Knight, and these work really well for the Switch. There's also good third-party support, so you can find games like The Witcher, Red Dead Redemption. Secondly, it's the portability, because the cool thing about the Switch is that not only can you play on your TV, you can take it right out of the dock and take it with you wherever you go. I myself have had great usage out of this. I would bring it to school to play Smash Bros, or just on trips so I had something to do on the flights or long train rides. And not only is there just handheld and docked, there's loads of different ways to play on the Switch. You could either play it with the Joy-Cons in the grip, you can get a Pro Controller, or you can play with your Joy-Cons all out here. Well, you can almost not hear me because I'm so far away from the microphone. The way these are designed, it even makes it so that you can share a Joy-Con with a friend, so you don't have to think about buying a second controller. Even though that controller will be very tiny, it's better than nothing. Also, since the Switch has been out for so many years, you can probably find one used. But if price is the problem, I would suggest maybe getting a Switch Lite, the little brother of the Switch. Now, you do lose some features here, mainly that you can't dock it to your TV. Another big thing is that it doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons, so there are some few games that you can't play, like Super Mario Party. One thing that it does add is a little D-pad, because since you don't have to flip the controllers like that, well, it doesn't need 4 different buttons. That is a plus. Also, it's very small, so you can just put it in your pocket and it's very easy to take with you on the go. If money isn't the problem though, the Switch also has a big brother, the Switch OLED. Now, this doesn't change anything when it's docked, but if you play a lot of handheld and think the screen, while it doesn't look very good, the Switch OLED's got you covered because it has a lovely, vibrant OLED screen. Not only that, the OLED also has quite a few little upgrades, for example, a much better kickstand and speakers. Yes, as I said, you will see a price increase, but it is worth the money if you have it, trust me. But, the original Switch, even though it is almost 8 years old, it doesn't feel like that. If I hadn't used it for 7 or so years, I think getting one today, I would be really stoked about being able to just bring my games on the go like that. Unfortunately, it's not all flowers and roses. There is also the other end of the spectrum, all the reasons why you shouldn't get a Nintendo Switch. The main one is that Nintendo's next console will be announced by the end of March 2025. So, you will be future-proofing yourself a lot if you just get the new one. Because a big thing is that Nintendo's next console will be backwards compatible, meaning that all the great games on the Switch won't get stuck there. Maybe that was a concern you had, that, oh, if I don't get a Switch and just get the next thing, I won't be able to play all those big Nintendo games that they've released over the last many years. The Switch is also a very outdated console. A lot of games that gets released on PlayStation and Xbox simply just can't run on the Switch, and if they release it on the Switch, it's a much inferior experience. The graphics gets turned down to low, and the frame rate, well, usually it gets cut in half from 60 to 30. Maybe that's not an issue for you, and in that case, that's totally fine, but you should at least be aware of this when considering to buy a Switch. Even Nintendo themselves are struggling to optimize their games for the Switch. For example, the newly released Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, well, that stutters quite a lot when you go around in the overworld. There's also a competitor in the market now, the Steam Deck. Now, the cool thing about the Steam Deck is that you can play a lot of games that you can't play on the Switch. It's a more powerful console. And also, if you already have a lot of Steam games, you don't have to buy a whole new library. Those will show up on your Steam Deck. And that is just really nice. Do I use it? No, because I have a Mac. Yay for me. But I know a lot of people where Steam Deck just makes sense because they already have a giant library. The disadvantage to the Steam Deck is that, well, you can't play the exclusive Nintendo games. And also, well, it's quite expensive. There's of course also other competitors in the market, Sony, Microsoft, who have the PlayStation and Xbox, and those are more powerful consoles. The only thing is that they are not portable. Myself, I use my PlayStation a lot simply because if there's a game on Nintendo and PlayStation, normally it runs a lot better on the PlayStation. That's not to say it runs horribly on the Switch, but I want to play my game as best as I can, and the PlayStation 5 simply just has a lot of juice. I think it also comes down to that I don't go out as much. I am mainly just stuck in my apartment working, and then when I'm not working, I'm playing some games. And thus, well, I don't mind just being stuck to the TV. Now, if I was traveling a lot, I would by all means take that graphical hit so I could play it on the go. But yeah, it's just so you understand my situation properly. Some other bad things about the Switch is that if you're planning to play with friends, the online experience is not the best. There's no built-in chat functions. You have to use an app. I mean, I mostly just use Discord. And the games themselves, well, it depends a lot which games they are, but if you don't have a very good internet connection, expect there to be a lot of chopping. The eShop, well, it's just so slow. There's so many games on it now that is just not a fun experience. So much AI slop that just buries all the good games that you actually want to find. But hopefully the next Switch will fix a lot of those issues. So if it stood to me, I would under all circumstances wait for the next thing. Even if I still wanted to get a Switch, that will get a price drop because suddenly that's not the big new thing. I mean, when a new thing comes, the old thing, well, it's old. It can't sell for the newest price, so it will get a price drop. And that means the used stuff will probably be even cheaper. And that is very good when you're looking to buy. So yeah, hopefully now you have all the information at hand to decide if you still want to get that Switch or maybe wait till the next thing comes around. And if you still don't know, head down to the comments where I'm sure a lot of people will be telling you, no, do this or don't do that. Yeah, it's a free buffet down there, a little bit of everything. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you still click that subscribe button even though you're a bit late? Come on now, we've had this channel for many years. You better get around to it then. And also don't forget to check out our website nintendoLoft.com where you can find all sorts of Nintendo related content. Stay safe and we'll see you in the next one. Felix from Nintendo Life, out.